Welcome all. My name is Dhundiraj Deshpande. I am working as an assistant professor in Department of Chemical Engineering, Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Engineering Management and Research, Akurdi, Pune. I am recording this third video for partial fulfillment of 4-week FDP on environment and sustainability, organized by D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, Akurdi, Pune. So, topic of today's presentation is a biofuel production. As we know, biofuel, as we know, the current scenario says that there is a huge amount of carbon emission is occurring if we are utilizing the petrodiesel. So, in order to reduce down the carbon content and in order to reduce down the carbon emission from diesel, it is mandatory. It is an option which can be used for converting the petrodiesel into a biodiesel. So let's understand what I have tried to convince in this type of video. So I have created before this two video. This is the link of first video and this is the link of second video. In a first video, I have deal with various types of biofuel processes that is used for the environment and sustainability purpose. I had also discussed about the requirement of biofuel and the method available for the biodiesel production. To understand the sustainability, I had discussed about the various measures considered to evaluate the quality of the biodiesel. So this very brief discussion about video 1 which I have done. And in a video 2, this is the link for the second video. And in video 2, I have discussed about a various ISO standard which is being used for biodiesel production or biofuel production, especially for biodiesel production. In this case, I have also discussed about the pollution. As I have told you that petrodiesel is responsible for the huge amount of CO2 liberation. So these are the points which I have discussed in video number 2. Now in video number 3, means the current video, I am going to discuss about the biodiesel production process and carbon emission and CO2 emission from this biodiesel. Let's understand what are the various types of learning outcome which is being used. Now, what are the learning outcomes? During this video, the student will able to understand need of biodiesel production. What is the need of biofuel production? Then what is the meaning of environment and sustainability? What are the various norms and standard which is available related to biofuel? Different ASTM processes and standard. Then the student will able to understand the petrodiesel and how much amount of pollution is being created by the petrodiesel and what are the risks which is which we have to take in order to shift from petrodiesel to biodiesel. So these are the some learning outcomes that a student will able to understand after student will able to understand during the this video. Now let's understand to the next. These are the various types of ISO standard which is being used, which is being available for the biodiesel production process. These are the very few ISO standard which I have included here. The first standard which is used for the biodiesel is ISO standard, that is 14780 2017. This standard is used to define the method for the reduction of combined sample to laboratory sample and laboratory sample to subsample and general analysis sample, and it is applicable to solid biofuels. Then second standard is 16559 2014. This standard only include raw material and processed material originating from forestry and agricultural and horticultural. The next standard is a 16948 2014. This describes the method for determining the total carbon, hydrogen and nitrogen content in the solid biofuel. Then next ISO standard is 16967 2015. This standard gets subdivided into two parts. A part A describes the direct determination on the fuel. This method is also applicable for sulfur and minor element. As we know, sulfur are the major element which is present in the biodiesel, or you can say in a petrodiesel, which is responsible for the maximum amount of pollution. And second part is a part B, which gives a method to determining a determination on prepared 550 degree centigrade ash preparation. So we know after burning of any compound, the compound get dissociated into three parts. One is a gas, second one is a ash, and third one is a heat. So whenever there is a creation of ash, then this standard ISO standard is also applicable for the production of ash. And next standard is 17306 2016. This established a methodology for quantitative determination of free glycerol. As we know, whenever we are producing a biodiesel, then there is a creation of biofuel as well as there is a creation of glycerol. So this ISO standard is applicable for the glycerol production, mono triglycerol, and total glycerol. This standard is used for gas chromatography in a biodiesel production for any raw material except castor oil. Means for all type of raw material, we can use this ISO standard 17306 2016, but this standard is not applicable for the castor oil. Next slide. Then carbon footprint. In this video, we are going to compare the petrodiesel and biodiesel. So for that reason, I have choose the concept that is called as a carbon footprint. Now, what is carbon footprint is? The carbon footprint means CO2 release as a result of activity of a particular individuals, organization or community. Most cases, the total footprint can be calculated exactly as inadequate knowledge of a complex interaction between contributing process, including the influence of a natural process that store or release CO2. So for this reason, the scientists propose the following definition of a carbon footprint. A measure, what is the definition of carbon footprint? Then definition of carbon footprint is a measure of total amount of carbon dioxide, CO2 and methane emission of a defined population, system or activity considering all the relevant sources, scheme and storage within the special and temporary boundary of a population, system or activity of interest, calculated as a carbon dioxide equivalent using the relevant 100-year global warming potential. So this is what a carbon footprint is. This is the production of biodiesel, means how the biodiesel get produced nowadays. Now see, biodiesel, whenever I am going for the production of biodiesel, the biodiesel get produced from the two types of, means we require two raw material. One is a alcohol and second one is oil. So here I have considered a vegetable oil which is being mixed with the alcohol for the production of a biodiesel. Here I have used two reactor. This is reactor 1, this is reactor 2, and these are the two condenser which is being used, which is going to form a biodiesel production. So this is the process which is being used for the production of biodiesel. The alcohol and oil, these are mixed together and they are supplied to the reactor. Now these are the collision control reaction. So alcohol molecule and vegetable molecule coincide with each other in the presence of some of the catalyst. Catalyst can be acid base, alcohol. The catalyst can be acid base or a platinum base. So any type of catalyst can be used for the production of biodiesel. So these are going to react in this two reactor. After the reaction is completed, after providing a particular amount of precedence time, this biodiesel is get transferred into the decanter. These are the two decanter or you can say separator which can be used. So where there is a separation of a glycerol and biodiesel layer will take place, and these two layers can be separated as a biodiesel and glycerin. So biodiesel, once we got the biodiesel, then we have to go for the frequent washing of a biodiesel for obtaining a pure form of biodiesel. So this is the generalized production of biodiesel process. Now in this case, why we are trying to replace petrodiesel with the biodiesel? The reason behind that, we have to reduce down the carbon footprint, which is a major issue nowadays, as we are doing, as we are studying the environment and sustainability, we should know that how much amount of CO2 get produced with the help of petrol diesel. So in order to understand this concept of production of CO2 from petrol diesel, I have considered the two cases. These calculations I have done on the basis of stoichiometry. Now let's understand. This is the first reaction which is being used. I have used C6C12H26. This is the formula for the petrol diesel. Now this is the formula for diesel C12H26. If suppose I consider the density is a 0.86 ton per meter cube, which result in a 528 gram of CO2 by 170 gram of diesel. If I use equation number 1, means this equation, then this much amount of carbon is associated with it. Now, if I take this density 0.864 ton per meter cube as a density, then we got such a type of carbon emission here, 2.683 ton of CO2 per meter cube of diesel. This is the biggest amount of CO2 emissions that can be done when we burn the petrol diesel. So that's why what we are trying to do, we are trying to replace this petrol diesel with a biodiesel. Now if I talk about biodiesel, what you will observe, the density of biodiesel is a 0.878, means there is a no much difference between the petrol diesel and biodiesel. In the density of a petrol diesel and biodiesel are almost same. And if you observe the molecular weight, this biodiesel is obtained from the soybean oil. I have taken a very simple example that biodiesel is manufactured using soybean oil. Then molecular weight of that biodiesel is a 292.2 gram per mole. So if I burn such a type of biodiesel, then there is a generation of a 282.45 gram of CO2 by 100 gram of biodiesel. For this reason, I have used this equation. Equation number 2. These equations I have taken out from some literature. Now taking into account the fuel density, the following can be said, means 282.45 ton CO2 can be generated if I burn 113.83 meter cube of biodiesel. So very less amount of carbon is coming out from the biodiesel. In next slide, we are going to see that this CO2 is absorbed by the plant. So this is called as a recycled CO2. So if you observe about the carbon footprint of a biodiesel, you will observe that in a biodiesel, there will not be production of CO2 or additional CO2 get absorbed in the atmosphere. That is get absorbed when we talk about the petrol diesel. So equation number 1 will give you the amount of CO2 generated. So this is nothing but the amount of CO2 generated, 2.683 tons of CO2 which get generated for meter cube of biodiesel. And whereas for biodiesel, here there is a generation of a 282.45 tons. So much amount of less biodiesel CO2 will get generated with the help of biodiesel. Now next slide says that this is nothing but the CO2 emission. Now see, if I am utilizing the vehicle, so my vehicle can be run on a gasoline. Gasoline means petrol. My vehicle can be run on a gasoline. My vehicle can be run on a flex fuel. My vehicle can be run on a ethanol. Then we have diesel vehicles also. So if you observe that the vehicle which is utilizing ethanol will be responsible for the generation of a lowest amount of CO2. So my suggestion is that we should replace this gasoline with the help of ethanol. But as we know, there are practical limitations of converting all the vehicles on a ethanol. So it is not possible to convert. But remember, the ethanol vehicle will generate a very little amount of CO2. The next slide says that a biodiesel and carbon footprint. Now this is the most important thing. Now what does it say? A biodiesel is a fuel that is used in a diesel power vehicle. Whatever the diesel vehicle which we have, we can use the same engine with the help of biodiesel. But it is biodegradable. But what is the advantage of biodiesel? It is a biodegradable and non-toxic, first of all. And biodiesel is a fantastic way of reducing the carbon footprint, as it only releases carbon dioxide that plant absorb. Means during the process of photosynthesis, plant absorbs CO2. So whatever the amount of CO2 which is going to be liberated into the atmosphere, that CO2 was absorbed by the plant at the time of photosynthesis. So no any additional CO2 going to be introduced into the atmosphere. So total amount of CO2 level on the atmosphere will remain same if you go for if you go for biodiesel production or biofuel utilization. Then what are the learning outcome? What are the overall learning of the course? What is the overall learning of the course? So in this course, understanding of environment and sustainability. Nowadays environment and sustainability is going to be a major issue. So this is nothing but the first learning outcome of this course. Then what is the need of biofuel production? As we have seen that if I use petrodiesel, then there is a huge amount of liberation of CO2. Similarly, if I use biodiesel, there will be a less amount of CO2 production. So if you want to understand the concept of environment and if you want to balance the amount of CO2 liberation in the environment, it is a mandatory that we should understand or we should focus on the reduction of a carbon footprint. So that is what a need of a biofuel production. Then we have learned a different ISO standard, carbon footprint, and calculation of carbon emission. So these are nothing but the outcome of this course. Thank you for watching this video. This video is made for the partial fulfillment of a course, 4-week faculty development course on environment and sustainability, organized by DY Patil Institute of Engineering, Management and Research. And my name is Dundiraj Deshpande. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.